I got new skates. So these are the Remz 2.5s, and they're pretty crazy. I want to give a huge thanks to my supporters on Patreon for helping me get the funds to buy these skates for review. So back in the days, the late 90s, there was a company that was called OUT, O-U-T. I think it stood for Once Upon a Time. And I want to say it was French, definitely European. And they made a skate called the Poppy. And that was the first weird-looking aggressive skate that I ever saw. Back in the days, we were skating Majestic 12s. We were skating maybe the K2 Fatty. And they came out with, this Poppy, which didn't look great. It looked like a very bizarre, design. But it was the first skate from OUT, OUT. And they said, you know what, we can do something better. We've got some ideas. So they started working on a boot that they eventually ended up shipping called the Remedy. And the Remedy, I don't know the whole story, but I heard the story was something like, it was the remedy for the industry. The industry was stuck in this plastic boot weird way. This was the way that you were supposed to skate. This was a boot that didn't have a replaceable liner. You slid your foot in and it just had this really nice fit. And it was designed for what we did, aggressive skating. So fast forward 20 years and we're at the Remz 2.5. Now there's been a lot of trade-off between the Remedies and the Remz. This is a different company. I want to say that Kato, who is kind of the main guy behind Remz and behind Remedies, he started working with a different company, Sunshine, to develop the Remz. Sunshine is also the company that makes razors. So they know a thing or two about making quality skates. He wanted to up the quality and the production and distribution. It's really hard to run a full stack business. And so he started making the Remz. They have evolved over the years to become what they are now. So this is a very different skate than the Remedies, and it's a very different skate than the original Remz that was released probably 2003 or so, mid-2000s for sure. So what to say about this skate? So the outside is like a leather sort of shoe style. It does have a big swoop here. This is made out of plastic. This is made out of leather. The sole plate is replaceable. So there are little screws on the bottom that you can unscrew, pop off the sole, put on another sole. I think this is a two-piece sole. So the sole plate is one piece, and then this little Royale groove is a second piece. I've seen people customize these, so they put in a white sole plate with a black Royale groove or vice versa. They come in a bunch of different colors. So it does have a removable liner. What that means is you can upgrade the liner if the liner doesn't fit you properly. That is different than the original Remz. The original Remedies had a built-in liner into the shell, kind of like the USD Carbon, kind of like the Seba CJ, or like the K2 Fatty. These are just a shell, so it's a very similar design to the Rollerblade New Jack, where it's got a plastic inside, plastic cuff, and then a skin that wraps around. The problem with that design is it makes it a little bit heavy. So you compromise this style and this look and feel for weight. These are pretty heavy. They are the heaviest skates that I have. I did not measure them against the Rossi's Fifth Elements, which were the heaviest skates I have. They were probably very close to that weight. It is just a lot of material going on here. I think this whole area with this plastic is pretty heavy. I think the sole plate is pretty heavy. And then you add on another layer of leather and plastic and stuff. It is a heavy boot. So if you're looking for something that's super lightweight, definitely not the skates for you. This is the liner that comes with it. It is a removable liner. It is fairly good looking. It has, first off, a few things. It's got a hard bottom, so you're not going to be, if you have a frame bolt that sticks through or some hardware that gets a little loose, you're not going to be rubbing into the liner anytime soon. This will protect that. It has this little shock absorber / heel riser, which is removable. What's interesting about that is the boot itself is a raised heel boot. So that means that you're going to have a little bit of forward lean when you're skating, even if you didn't put in a liner. If you just put your foot in there, you'd feel like you were leaning forward a little bit. What this does is it gives you a little bit more forward lean, and it helps with shock absorption. So this being squishy helps when you land gaps or you land off of a grind and you stomp your heels, you're going to feel this little squishiness rather than just plastic. It does have a removable insole. This thing I think was a Jug brand insole. It has a little bit of a shock absorber back here. It's actually pretty thick. So I'm a little worried that this skate's gonna feel very far forward lean. I might be taking out this embedded shock absorber because I feel like this is plenty of shock. I don't know how many millimeters this is, but it's a pretty thick and beefy shock absorber back here. But it looks good, looks clean. Looks like, you know, the material that they used is a very thick, responsive, rubbery sort of thing. This blue is stickier, which means to me that it's going to be a lot more shock absorption. I'm not going to be taking this out when I'm skating, so I might just take out this little heel raise to make it feel like I'm not leaning forward so much. But I'll give them a try with it in there just to see what it feels like. One of the most interesting things about these Remz to me is this sole plate. So I've skated a bunch of different sole plates. It is interesting in that the heel of the sole plate is a little bit of an angle. So it's not this flat sole plate that you're used to. This heel actually comes out a little lower and it's at a nice angle. It's very reminiscent to the old 50-50 juice system that we used to make back in the 90s. That had a heel plate that was like a little fin and it came out at an angle. And then this front plate was another part, but they were completely detached. Here, instead of having a completely flat sole plate, this heel is a little bit lower. I'm not sure what that's going to feel like with soles. I'm interested in it. I've heard a lot of good things that you lock on really nice on rails, and I can totally understand that. Not sure what it's going to feel like on ledges. So I'm out here at the Durham Skate Park. It is a beautiful Saturday morning, and I'm going to give these a roll. All right, so these are the size 10.5 Remz. They are 28.5 centimeters. My foot's 28.5. They feel fine. You know, the sizing is okay. I've heard people say that they need to toe cut these to make their toes fit. I don't feel like I have that problem. There is a little neoprene on the top of the liner towards the toes that allows a little bit more wiggle. And I can definitely feel that. I don't feel like my toes are getting pinched in there or anything. Yeah, lengthwise they feel fine. I'm getting a very sloppy feeling though. Like, I don't know, I'm sure I have to tighten them up again, but I don't have anything keeping the liner inside the boot. Like, I can tie up the liner and I feel like the liner is pretty fit on my foot, but it doesn't help me if my liner just slides out of the boot. There's so much lateral wiggle. Like if I'm just skating, I feel like my foot's just all over the place inside that shell. I'm gonna see if I can tighten it up a little bit, but one of the problems that I ran into with the new jack was because the lacing system is on the skin, there's nothing keeping that plastic shell close to my liner. So it's only the skin that's tightening around, and that just means that there's more space between the liner and the actual laces. The problem with these is that this leather material, whatever you want to call it, is a lot stiffer. So when I try to tighten it down, I can't get it super tight because it just doesn't give yet. So I have a feeling these are going to need to break in a bit before they start feeling good, but right now they definitely feel extremely sloppy. All right, I'm gonna tighten them up a little bit and go try some grinds. All right, sole tricks feel good. Yeah, real good. I feel like I'm locking on solid. I did not wax the ledge today, and I'm sliding just fine. So I don't have any concerns about sole tricks. Alley-oop tricks feel great. That zero point felt, solid. Alley-oop sole felt great. Yeah, I don't have any issues. I think that the soles feel good. I did adjust the laces a lot and tighten them up. I'm getting a little bit of a pain now in my right foot, but it's probably because I over tightened them. I got to figure out how to break these in, and I think just a 45-degree strap would make a huge difference to this, because it's really hard to crank that top buckle strap so that it's tight. My foot definitely feels better though. It's not like it's swimming around inside the boot anymore. All right, here comes some groove tricks. All right, groove tricks feel really good. The angle for the Royale is almost perfect for me. I feel like I can squat down on Royales, really put my weight on my Royale, like backside plate, and just kind of squat. This park is a little busy today, and the approach from the right side isn't ideal. So doing back Royales was more of trying to get set after doing a quick turn and avoid other people. So not ideal, but I made it happen. Same with back farv, I need a little bit more speed. So I'm going to go skate another skate park probably next week and really see what they feel like. But so far, initially I feel like Royale tricks feel great. No concerns. So I'm not good at topside tricks, but I'm starting to get a lot of pain on the toe area, like the pinky toe when I'm trying to do topsides. My foot just keeps moving around a lot inside this boot, and it hurts. So when I try to lock topside, it hurts. This little plastic area on the side of the shell, it's not forgiving at all. There's like no padding, and man, I'm going to stop trying topsides because I don't want to get hurt, but maybe they'll slide. I don't know. I got to take a look at that, but definitely not great out of the box if it's hurting me.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, this was not the best first impression. The biggest problem with these skates is the fit. I feel like they fit fine lengthwise, but there's something weird going on left to right. If you just tighten the laces normally, they move around too much, and it's just like, your foot is inside a boot and your foot's just flopping around. That's where you're gonna break your ankle. So I tightened them up and I have more control now, but I'm getting this really bad pain on the outside of both of my feet. And it's especially bad when I try to do topside tricks, but even just doing regular tricks, I'm getting that pain. It's like there's no padding. next to the liner and the plastic shell. And yeah, it hurts. It really hurts. So obviously it's super distracting, and it does not feel fun to skate. The heel lift is causing me problems. I don't miss Mizu's and I don't miss zero porn, and both tricks I jumped over, which is, I mean, you guys have watched a few of my videos, I'm sure. I don't miss high, I miss low. I blasted on top of that ledge, and then I had the hardest time getting that down ledge with zero porn, which I usually do first try. Even on like 72 Aeons, so it's not like it's a taller ledge or taller wheelbase or anything. It's just something's off about the way that the skate is set up. So yeah, first impressions, this is a pretty sketchy fit. I feel like they grind fine. You know, the soles feel great when you lock on. The Royales feel amazing, but it doesn't feel good on my feet, and that ultimately is the decider. I'm gonna see what I can do to make this fit better. I don't have any ideas, but I'm gonna post and ask if people have experienced this issue as well, because I want to like these skates, but you know, I'm gonna remove the heel lift in the liner. I think that will help with some of this heel raise. But really, that hasn't been as much of a problem as I thought it was. My biggest concern is this pain that I'm getting on the sides of the front of my feet. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to fix that, I'm all ears. I will be skating these for the next month, hopefully, assuming that my feet don't hurt every session. Yeah, I'll do my review at the end of the month. I'm hoping that I can get through this, but you know, out of the box, this has not been a great experience. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week.